Hello, and I'm Steve Moffel with The Art of Resisting, and let's talk about protesting today. Disclaimer, I'm going to be advocating for more protesting, not less, although at the beginning it may not sound that way. So, first off, they don't mind if we're out protesting on a Saturday here and there for a couple hours. They being, of course, our so-called leaders, the 1%, the billionaires, whatever you want to call them. How about the really, really old money? Yeah. They're in the shadows, pulling the strings. We don't know who they are, but we do know they're there. Yeah, they don't mind. They don't mind if we go out here and there and blow off some steam. You know, it's kind of like they liken it to like a safety valve. Serves as a pressure release for public frustration. And of course that prevents even more radical actions. No, they don't mind at all. And to kind of prove that point, you know, I'm from Wisconsin. And back in 2011, you know, we had Scott Walker. And let's be honest, really scummy Republicans. And they passed Act 10, which was basically to curb collective bargaining and even more stuff. In Wisconsin, we had over 100,000 people out there for weeks protesting, banging on drums, singing in their faces 24/7. Didn't bother them a bit. Totally ignored everybody. They went and passed Act 10 anyway. You know, you would think that with that many people that maybe they might say, ooh, we better listen to our voters. No, they don't listen to voters. They listen to the people with the money and the money that gets put into their pockets. And we're outvoted with money. Votes don't matter. We don't matter. And it's way worse now than it was in 2011. So they don't mind. Why don't they mind? The main reason? As long as we go back to our jobs on Monday morning and spend the week doing what we've been doing. And what is that? Exactly what they want. We are so brainwashed. And you don't want to hear that. I don't either. You, yeah. We are bombarded by thousands of ads and messaging every day. It doesn't stop. And it influences us. We're doing exactly what they want. We like who they want us to like. We hate who they want us to hate. You can just go right down the list, you know. They've perfected slavery. They don't need chains anymore. We don't have any chains on us. They don't have to whip us. We willfully comply. And that is why they don't mind. Now, so like I said, I'm not saying, oh, well then why should we bother to protest? Well, we need to protest, but we need a lot more. Now, I know you've heard the 3.5% rule, and there's a lot of people out there thinking, ooh, we can get 3.5% out there for, a Saturday afternoon. They're just going to collapse, and we'll win. No. Read about the 3.5% rule. That is 3.5% sustained. That means for America, 12 million people out there every day, every week, every month until it's done. And it's not just 12 million people being out there. Those 12 million then need a whole lot of support. You need a big supply chain to keep them going. And that's thousands more, if not more than even 12,000. No, it would be more than 12,000. I mean, come on. An army doesn't go to war with just what's on its backpack. They need a supply chain. Keep all the material coming so they can do sustained warfare or whatever. Hey, in 1969, we sent 3 men to the moon. 2 of them stepped on the moon. Do you think the 3 did it by themselves? No. They had hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people behind them that made it all happen. And that's the same way. We need 12 million people out there, but we need a lot more to help them, to sustain them. And we, sadly, aren't even close to that. And I mean, the rest of the world is going, what is going on, America? With what you got going on there, you should already be there, and we're not. So, yes, we need to get out there. We need to protest. But what I kind of really want to talk about here is what then? All right, so let's say we get the 12 million out there. They're out there for whatever it takes to get it done. We get the orange buffoon out and all his goons. Then what? Then what? Do you think the rich, the powerful, aren't going to be not prepared for that? Of course they are. I mean, Trump is just a useful idiot for them. They got somebody in the wings, or several candidates in the wings, waiting to replace him because they know he won't last forever. I mean, we didn't get here just in the last few weeks or last couple years. They've been planning this for 50 plus years. They think long term. Sadly, we can't even plan next week. They know he won't last, but they're ready for it. They got plans already. So we got to be thinking beyond the protesting. What kind of society, what kind of economy do we want to replace what we have? Because what we have is not working. We are so unhappy. Unhappiness is at an all-time high. And yet we put up with this shit. You gotta be kidding me. Sick of it. We have what I call a King of the Hill society. Remember that game? Everybody's trying to get to the top of the hill and be at the top of the hill first, and that's the winner. So what happens? The strongest, the nastiest, the meanest gets to the top and pushes everybody else down. That's the kind of society we have. The strongest, the nastiest, the meanest, the soulless, those without morals, get to the top. And of course they think they're very righteous because of that, unfortunately. It's not the kind of society I want to continue. And our economy, it's a profit from misery economy. Ew. I mean, I'll give you a good example, a couple of them. Pharmaceutical companies. They're getting rich off of us being sick. They don't want cures. They don't want things that actually work. I mean, you start taking medication and then you have side effects and then you need more medication for those side effects and et cetera, et cetera. They just keep, you're just a drug addict. We all are. I am. I got heart issues. Yeah. They have cures. They've bragged about it. That's how obnoxious they are. There's no money in healthy people. There's no profit in healthy people. There's profit in sick people. War, there's your other example. Do you think there's profit to be made off of peace and everybody's getting along for these billionaires? No. They're making a ton of money off war. It's the most profitable business on the planet. They plan wars way in advance. Please. Oh my gosh. I don't know about you, but I want a better society and I want a better economy. And it's possible. I know they got it. I know they got us all convinced that capitalism, that's it, man. We're at the pinnacle. There's nothing else, you know? I mean, my goodness. No, there's other things. There has been other things, and they've been very successful. Sadly, this will upset a few people. Yeah, there's been other things. Worked well, and then the white European man comes along and destroys it all. Yeah, I'm white European. It's not what I want us to be doing. So there are alternatives to what we have, and we can be working for it. We can be discussing this. We need something beyond once we throw this current regime out. We need to be thinking after the protesting also. What's our plans? And the main thing is what will hurt the powers to be the most? Their pocketbook. Yeah. We gotta shut it down. That's all they care about is money, because money buys them power and power buys them money. So, let's get out there and protest. Let's get out there and plan a supply line for those people. We all can be a part. We don't all have to be the protester, but let's be part of it. Let's start planning, organizing, bigger, faster than what we have been. It's getting bad. But let's also start the discussion and the planning is what do we want once we accomplish our goals there. Let's talk more about that in the next videos. Have a great day.